GM's lineup is massive, ranging from luxurious SUVs to pickups to modern crossovers to high-end sports cars. And clearly, not all of them can be great. Some of them offer game-changing performance, cutting-edge tech, and unbeatable value, while others fall flat with underwhelming features, outdated design, and can't keep up with the competition. In this video, we will unveil the 5 worst and 5 best GM vehicles you can buy. Let's start with the worst ones, those that can't keep up with the competition and don't give as much as you would expect in return for your money. Number 5. Chevrolet Trax. With its modern exterior and interior design, Chevy's subcompact crossover may look like a pretty attractive offer, but the fact is that, other than aesthetics, last year's redesign didn't bring as much improvement as expected. The Trax still lags behind the competition in many aspects, and that's why we think it's one of the worst GM vehicles you can buy these days. First of all, there is underwhelming performance. With an underpowered 137 horsepower 3-cylinder engine that comes coupled with a sluggish and pretty outdated 6-speed automatic transmission, the acceleration is slow, and the ride feels quite unrefined. Furthermore, most rivals handle better and offer a higher dose of athleticism. The cabin design may look attractive, but the actual build quality and materials are not as good as in the case of key rivals. Still, not all things about the Trax are bad. We really like the fact that it features one of the largest cargo holds in the class, along with a low cargo floor that makes loads and unloads quite convenient. Number 4. Cadillac XT4. The XT4 was heavily updated last year when it received a mid-cycle refresh, with new styling and a completely new interior that stands out with that massive 33-inch panel that integrates an infotainment screen and instrument cluster. But apparently that wasn't enough to make it competitive in this demanding segment, because most of the old issues haven't been solved with the refresh, starting from underwhelming performance. With a 235 horsepower Turbo 4, the XT4 offers typical acceleration for the segment, but good things end pretty much there. On the other hand, the ride is way too stiff, and if you think that's because of the engaging driving experience, there's nothing exciting about driving an XT4. The biggest complaint probably goes to the steering feel, which is too vague by any standards. While the fact that the 9-speed automatic feels sluggish in every possible way doesn't help either. The XT4 perfectly reflects Cadillac's inability to make an adequate luxury crossover that can keep up with Europeans. Number 3. Chevrolet Malibu. Few mid-sized sedans can keep up in this era of crossovers, but the Malibu definitely isn't one of them. Simply, it's too old to keep up with the competition. Outdated interior design, along with non-ideal outward visibility, are some of the reasons why it can't keep up not just with segment icons Camry and Accord, but with Hyundai Sonata and Kia K5 either. But the biggest problem is its performance. The ride is comfortable, but shows no signs of athleticism. The powertrain is even more problematic because the only engine you can get is a 1.5-liter Turbo 4 with no more than 163 horsepower. The engine comes coupled with a CVT that makes the engine feel even less powerful than it is. The power delivery is not great, while the transmission also feels too loud and unrefined, which, along with not particularly great cabin insulation, makes it one of the worst models in the segment. Number 2. Chevrolet Tahoe Suburban. When you look at Chevy's duo of full-sized SUVs, it's hard to say they are bad vehicles. Moreover, they come with so many qualities. These are some of the most spacious models in the class, equipped with a couple of V8 engines and pretty satisfying ride quality. But then you take a second look and realize that rivals are simply better. First of all, rivals come with turbocharged engines, with more torque and better fuel efficiency. Also, both Jeep Wagoneer and Ford Expedition look more upscale from the inside, with nice materials and the latest tech features. Then, there is the off-road performance, which is definitely on Wagoneer's side. Even if you prefer a good old V8, the in-house competitor, the GMC Yukon, is more stylish, more rugged, and more luxurious. Number 1. Chevy Blazer EV. The all-electric Blazer is definitely one of the worst vehicles you can buy these days, not just in GM's lineup, but on the market in general. We remember all those horror stories very well, And while the company claims that reliability issues are now behind, we are not sure if we would spend so much money on something so expensive with mediocre EV performance at best. But problems don't end there. While software troubles are claimed to be solved, this $50,000 crossover lacks some quintessential features, like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, something that's part of standard equipment in 2 times cheaper vehicles, which forces drivers to rely on GM's built-in systems that don't exactly match customers' expectations. Okay, now that we've checked the worst GM has to offer, let's focus on its bright side and some really good cars. Number 5. GMC Sierra. Although there's nothing wrong with the Chevy Silverado, we prefer its GMC sibling for a couple of reasons. Of course, it mostly comes down to its rugged appearance and a really nice-looking interior. The GMC Sierra simply looks more upscale while preserving all the great qualities of Chevy's truck, starting from impressive range of configurations on offer. Besides a variety of cab and bed layouts, the Sierra comes with an impressive powertrain lineup that, besides good old V8s, also includes an inline-6 turbo diesel that impresses both with torque and fuel efficiency. The Sierra ensures towing and hauling with style, while there are also a couple of extra bits, like that super handy multi-pro tailgate. Not to mention that it also has one of the most capable off-roaders in its lineup, the AT4X, which mirrors the ZR2 in terms of off-road gear, but, once again, does things with more style. Number 4. Chevy Colorado. When Chevy was redesigning its midsize pickup for 2023, it decided not to change much in terms of mechanics. Instead, it focused on aesthetics and made a truck that looks more attractive than ever. Rugged styling, along with a fancy high-tech interior, were the missing parts of the puzzle, and now Colorado definitely stands as one of the most complete trucks on the market. Besides aesthetics and technology, it also offers quite impressive performance, thanks to the 2.7-liter Turbo 4 that puts out 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. Besides being one of the most capable engines in the class, the Colorado also impresses with its off-road capabilities, especially in ZR2 and ZR2 Bison trims. Oh, and we also forgot to mention that Chevy's pickup is a class leader with its max towing capacity of 7,700 pounds. Number 3. GMC Acadia. The recent redesign of GMC's midsize SUV was pretty substantial because it brought some really important improvements, such as a significantly stretched wheelbase. The new Acadia is now one of the most spacious models in class, with nearly 100 cubic feet of cargo space. But that's not the only reason why we think it's one of the best buys. The Acadia stands out with its rugged, Sierra-inspired styling that makes it more attractive than pretty much everything in the segment. The cabin is impressive, with an upscale look, plenty of space, and lots of tech features. Finally, there's the engine, a pretty impressive 2.5-liter turbo with 328 horsepower and excellent driving dynamics. The Acadia is pricier than most of its rivals, but we say it's for a good reason. Number 2. Cadillac Escalade. The legendary full-size luxury SUV continues to impress, not just with its dimensions and stance, but as one of the most complete vehicles you can buy on today's market. The Escalade is a super refined SUV, with a smooth ride and capabilities you would expect from a body-on-frame SUV. Furthermore, it features one of the nicest cabins in the segment, with elegant aesthetics and one of the best infotainments on the market. Finally, the cabin is probably the largest in the segment, and even if that is not enough for you, there's also a long wheelbase version on offer. But all of these things wouldn't matter much without proper powertrain performance. Well, the Escalade has a pretty impressive offer. Starting from the good old 6.2-liter V8 with 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. But if that's not enough for you, you can get a supercharged V8 with 682 horsepower that makes this monumental SUV accelerate like a sports car. Number 1. Chevy Corvette. The Corvette has always been a sports car bargain, but the current generation took everything to the next level. As guys from Car and Driver say, it's probably the best car performance value ever, considering that just $70,000 is enough to get a mid-engine sports car with sub-3-second 0 to 60. Moreover, it looks so good that it turns heads as much as a Ferrari or Lamborghini for a fraction of the price. And that's just the beginning. There's also a capable plug-in hybrid E-Ray, as well as a Z06, as well as the freshest addition to the lineup, the new ZR1 with a twin-turbo V8 and electric motors, for a combined output of 1,064 horsepower, which puts Corvette directly into the hypercar category. Of course, that version is significantly more expensive than the base model, but when you compare it with hypercars with similar level performance, it's more than a bargain. All in all, it's pretty clear why we see it as the best GM vehicle you can buy today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.